Hi folks, and welcome back to the plot where I can't stop smiling. I've basically been really busy past few days. So I made that video a little while ago about the second plot, feeling a bit down, feeling a bit crap. And to be honest, I came to edit that video and I was just annoyed at myself. I was like, stop, just do it, fix it. If you're annoyed with it, just fix the problem. So that's what I've done basically since then. I've just been spending as much time as I possibly can tidying, sorting out, organising, weeding, all those kind of little bitty jobs. And I'm kind of halfway through, and to be honest, I came up today to film the potato reveal from my potato experiments down here, but they're not done. The ones at the front had died off, but the ones at the back are still going, they're still growing. So I don't want to be premature and take those up just yet. So I thought, you know, well, we're halfway through, I'll just show you what I've been up to. And this morning was brilliant actually. I went along and a bit more of an update on my parents' plot. We got loads of clearance done. And I went to go and have a look at their scaffolding because there is loads and loads of scaffolding that they got there, and I thought maybe I might be able to nab some of it and use it for the sweet corn protection down there. But it's too big, it doesn't fit in my car, there's no way I'm carting it around over my shoulders or anything like that. It's so heavy. So that's a bit of a later job, but we did get loads done on his plot, which was brilliant. So I've done that today, and I've been on here for kind of 2 days just sorting it all out, and it's a weight off, you know, it just feels so good. To be honest, a lot of it probably won't look any different on camera whatsoever, but I'm gonna show you anyway because I'm so happy. And the first thing I've done, it's really funny actually, because I was moaning about the second plot the whole time, and then when I came up I spent an entire day on the first plot. It was that day, so I recorded it in the morning, edited it, and then went, what are you doing? Like, just go out and do it, just make the time, go out and sort it out, JB. So that's what I did. I came up around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I didn't leave till about 9 o'clock at night, and there was still so much to do, but it just feels so good. So the first thing, everything has been weeded, and I was gonna say that you won't see a single weed, but there is one there, isn't there? So you can't get them all, but 99% of the weeds are gone from all of these beds on the first plot, and it already just looks a little bit better. Cucumbers still hanging on. Oh, look at this, I missed a dandelion. That's it, isn't it? You know, as soon as you start recording, all the weeds know, and they just pop out. They weren't here before I started recording, honest. You will still see some bits of green in the bed, but that's just weeds I've left. Oh, look, Crimson Crush, they're starting to go red down there. Yeah, actually, look, I said I was halfway through. There's a pot of weeds I've been pulling out from that bed there, and I just love it at the moment. These beds looking really good. I've weeded quite a lot of French beans, took another brilliant harvest, and this one has had the mulch treatment, so it looks amazing. I've planted out some very sad looking red lettuce in there, but this is just looking really good. And beyond the weeding, I have actually had just a stupendous tidy of this area, which once again you might not be able to tell the difference because I never ever show this because it's such a shameful area. I'm joking when I say shameful. There's no shame in having a bit of an area like this on your allotment, which is just for storage, for dumping things temporarily, for wood and all that kind of stuff. But it feels just like there's so much more room now. I've been doing a big tool sort out because there were just tools I was leaving in like 4 different places on the plot, you know, and it's just every time you need a tool, you end up walking around to all the different places. It's always at the last one. They're in the greenhouses, but it's all going in the shed. The tools live in the shed, JP. So put the tools away after you're finished every time in the shed. Another thing, I gave the compost a turn. I actually gave the compost a turn, and it's looking okay. This is just one of the builder's bags that the horse manure that I got came in once upon a time, but it does still act quite well as a makeshift lid. And yeah, I mean, you can see there's lots of green stuff on top because I've been adding to it since turning it, but you kind of get to about halfway, and it's all still composting on the top, but about halfway it gets pretty good, you know. So I'm thinking that the work that we've done, just lining this, has just made it that bit more efficient. and I'm really pleased. This cabbage leaf, actually, oh my goodness, right. So Mike, one of my allotment neighbours, I know you're probably watching this, Mike, he came over the other day while I was turning the compost and he said, do you want a cabbage? And I thought, oh yeah, okay, I'll go for a cabbage. Why not? And he was like, yeah, I bet it's better than any of your cabbages. It's like, okay, let's see it. And he comes over with just the biggest cabbage I've ever seen in my life. This big fat grin on his face. I was just like, yeah, that is better than anything I've grown actually, Mike. Oh, but it tasted beautiful. Oh, just absolutely divine. I always forget that cabbage is one of those that if you grow yourself, it's so much better. I've just seen the first cucumber in the greenhouse. First cucumber. Finally, I've been waiting and waiting, but there it is. We've had a few, a little cucumber plant at home, but I'm thinking that probably the pruning that I've done, there's another one down here. Too many leaves in the way. Look at that one just in there. I'm thinking that the pruning I did has probably triggered this a little bit, kind of helped it along its way. Everything in here looking really good. First Buena Mulata turning red on there, and as well when I was walking past I did just see one of the champions in there, it's turning red. Oh, it was really, really exciting. But yeah, my cabbages unfortunately could not compete with what Mike brought over. It was similar to this style, that kind of pointed cabbage, but yeah, the homegrown cabbages are just, oh, they're so fresh, they're so sweet, really, really divine. So I'm hoping this is probably some of the healthiest cabbage growth I've ever had. So I'm hoping these come through. The ones over there not looking so great, but yeah, I planted those ones at a similar time to the one Mike brought over. And yeah, he really did show me up, but very nice it was. What else have we done? Well, I somehow forgot to mention that I have edged all the beds again, which is just one of those tasks I love, never really make enough time for it. And I'm toying with the idea, like I found this bit of timber in the timber store because I was sorting through all the timber as well. That's one of the other things. And I found a little bit here, just toying with the idea of raised beds a little bit. I've got a little one over there. Oh, and you can see I've been deadheading the calendula. That's what's in here. So you just all systems go. Just everywhere I look, there's things I've been doing. And yeah, I quite like this. This was some offcuts from a neighbour. He had just loads of this that he got really cheap to build some fencing, and loads of offcuts. I think it looks quite nice actually as a little border. I don't know if I am going to go full raised bed. A sad looking marigold, but yes, today. So that was kind of, I got loads and loads of stuff done. I finally took down that storage shelf in the bathtub. I thought, oh look, the nursery too, just looking really much neater and tidier, given all these strawberries a weed. We've got the first germination coming up. It's just one of those, you know, where everywhere you look, it's all good, it's all good. That's the swede that's come up, some of the Amara kale, some Savoy cabbages as well. Oh, and that's another thing. Oh, the beetroot are just coming up. Beetroot are just coming up. There is something that I always forget to put in the video, and that is my winter cabbages. The reason I always forget to put them in a video is because they were in my greenhouse, tucked away in the back, and they've been like tucked away so they got full shade and weren't too hot. They were in a nice ventilated bit, but they're doing okay. They're not amazing. They did get a bit wilty. They've been a bit neglected, and I was a bit worried because they were getting nibbled by the flea beetle. I was a bit worried that that was caterpillar damage, but they're pretty much ready to go out any day, and hopefully we'll have some winter cabbages. But today I have borrowed my dad's little, not petrol, the opposite of petrol, electric. That's not the opposite, but you know what I mean. And I've just been, I couldn't believe how well it actually went through this meadow grass. I was expecting it to not be up to the task, but I've just given this a quick buzz really high, basically trying to do as little damage to everything as possible. Because I've left this too long, it becomes more and more of a habitat for insects. So I've left all of this, and I might end up leaving that the whole time because I feel a bit guilty. But what I'm going to do, leave all of this to set its seed. There's a few flowers that were cropping in. I've noticed this one is really nice. I think this is an oregano, oh yeah, I'm hoping that self-seeds. But basically, just leaving this for a few days to kind of dry out all of those seeds. The yellow rattle will hopefully fall down and have a good chance to germinate, and anything that was kind of using this will have time to escape. what you really want to do is make sure you get this done before everything starts overwintering and hibernating in it, because then it's really kind of, once you go through it, that's it, it's all dead. It's not going to have another chance, but looking a lot better for sure. And then, yes, I just started on the second plot basically when the weather cleared up. It's been really rainy, so I didn't want to film until the weather cleared up. But thank you for all of the comments about my corn. I said bolted. What I meant is, I know that these are just the male flowers that come up at the top, and they kind of rain down the pollen on the tassels. It's very cool. But normally, corn should be tall as me. You know, 6 foot. I'm not 6 foot, but you know what I mean. It should get really, really tall. I grew some last year in pots, and it was a bit of a travesty, to be honest. But I think I just put too many in the pots. But yeah, I'm just really surprised that it's flowering so soon. But the other thing is, I've looked around, every other plot, pretty much the same thing. Loads of people in the comments just saying, all of the corn is doing this. And I don't know if it's a drought or just something in the weather, something in the air has clearly triggered it. And it's coming out really, really early. But today, I'm just gonna carry on doing a little bit of work on the second plot, giving it a good trim. This is kind of all been trimmed now, just a bit of a tidy, a bit of a weed, and it's just so therapeutic. I do have a to-do list, and this wasn't on it, so really I should possibly be prioritizing those things on the to-do list. But I think sometimes when like the look of a plot is kind of getting on top of you, or you're just looking around and thinking, oh, this is gross, this is untidy, it doesn't become as nice a place to be. So doing something like that, it's just really good. It's put a smile on my face the whole time. Just neatening it up, just tidying it up a little bit, sometimes goes a really long way. You can see I'm going to be working on the flower bed now. I've taken all that netting off. The parsnips are looking good. When I was helping my dad clear his this morning, I was talking to a guy, Bob, met him for the first time. We were chatting for ages and ages, and he had 1 parsnip, so that made me feel much better. But he was saying as well, all his allotment friends, really tough year for parsnips and germination. Just, I don't know if it's the seed supply or once again something in the climate, that dry spell maybe in spring. Although most people start this kind of March, April, when it was still, we had a really nice, certainly down here anyway, loads and loads of rain. So I can't wait to just get into all of these and give them a really good weed. It's such a shame about this one. This is where Jess had so many seeds that all just got completely dug out by the foxes. Loads and loads of bindweed in here, so we're going to continue to tackle it. The mint has gone crazy, and as lovely as this is, and it does smell divine, it's really, really nice. I do want to get this under control before it seeds. I might keep some of it. I might actually take a crop home, but as soon as this starts to seed, that is when it does this. So a lot of people do mint in pots for this reason specifically, but some of the sweet peas, Jess, did actually come through. She thought these were all dead, and really beautiful colour. A few little cosmos too, similar colours for this, and unfortunately on here just loads and loads of grass, loads of mint again, and a little bit of a showing from the stocks. So I'm going to get in here and just continue to kind of while away and do some bits along the edges. That feels incredibly satisfying. Unfortunately, I've just had a phone call, which means I need to go and deal with some stuff. This has been a weight off though. Really, really good to get this netting off and get under here, but I'm gonna have to cut it short. Thank you ever so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed the energy of this one, and an extra special thank you to my Chili Pepper tier patrons, Tony, Bill, Pam, Louise, Michael, Mel. I always want to say Miranda, there isn't a Miranda. Denise, Socks in the Garden, and Craig. Hopefully I'll see you again in the next one. Look at all this mint that I'm going to take home, blitz up and probably freeze. Oh, it smells delicious.